Hi, it's Nick. This is my layout update number 5. I completed the support for building my background. As you can see, it goes all the way around the layout until it comes to this part of the layout, which is like a U shape. And what I've done so far, I built some scenery, which is a rock formation, which you can see behind the water tower. And I also started building my tunnel, which is about a 6-foot tunnel. And the material that I used for that, believe it or not, is just styrofoam, which we got from my son's packing for a gift that he had. It's about 3/8 thick and about 7 inches high. It just was made for it. I couldn't believe it. And how I made the rock is that I used a soldering iron and I just scored it. And at this particular, because it was thick, I can make it a little deeper. And that carries all the way through the tunnel, just ends where the brickwork starts. And the tunnel is also made of styrofoam. But I bought the sheets to make this, believe it or not, in a dollar store. And they come 19 by 20 inches for like making posters and so on. It has sort of like a cardboard on each side. So I took one side of the styrofoam, the cardboard off, and same method with the soldering iron, except since it's thinner, that's only 1/4 of an inch, I had to go lightly, and it's sort of a different type of design. But nature is not always perfect. And then what I used to make the color, I had this house paint left over, which was white. It was a latex flat, and I had a black, which was a semi-gloss. And I mixed it, and of course, when you mix those two, you get a gray. And I worked it until I got the tone and color that I liked. And when I painted it, before it dried, if I thought it was a little too light, I get the black and just blend it in. And I think it came out pretty good. I did that with all of the stonework. Now I don't know if you can notice it in the video, but right in that area, there's an opening of the wall of the tunnel. And the reason why I have that, I have two switches that connects the inner track to the middle track. I bought the Lionel switches, which you can just operate with the legacy only. And it works really great. And it works as one switch, even though they're two separate ones, the way you program it. And that worked and helped a lot. Also, as you go down, I mentioned the brickwork. Same material. It's just that what I did with a ruler and straight ruler, I made the brick 1/2 inch high and 1 inch long, and I staggered it. And I painted, after I did all of it with the soldering iron, then I had this other house paint, it's a brick color, and I painted the whole board. And then with the same black semi-gloss, I put it where all the lines out. So you bring out the brick, the shape of the brick. Took a little time, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Now, the rest of the board on the lower level, it's all just wood. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do with that? So I went on the YouTube, a couple of the channels. These fellas were making, I believe you call them flat buildings, and all different thicknesses. And I'm thinking of probably from where that brick ends, start building different types of houses, stores, apartments, all the way around until the other end over here. And then after that's done, I'm going to build a second level, and if you can see it, it's a 3/4 by 1.5 inch piece of wood, which will be one of the supports for the second level when I put the wood on there. And I'll probably just use cover maybe the 2 outer tracks. I was going to go all the way around over the buildings, over the switch house, and come up to the tunnel. But I like the idea that it's more open where the switcher is, so I was thinking of ending at the end of the tunnel, to the beginning of the tunnel, to the end of the tunnel, and stop there with my second level. And then where the brickwork ends, continue the second level. And then you see that there's another house there, end just before it, and then where that green post is, start from there to the end of the board here. And then on top of that, I'm going to put more boards, I don't know, maybe a Formica or something, or some type of a board, so I can put it all the way around, and then I can paint like a blue color sky, mountains, and clouds, and maybe incorporate the mountain coming down over the tunnel if I have enough room. But everything is subject to change. Now, before I do all of this second level, I'm going to make in between the tracks and where the water tower is, ground cover. And I was going to put some bushes and little trees and whatnot. I'm trying to use whatever materials I have at the house, like these plants, artificial plants. They have that foam, and there's another type of material which broke up. When I look at it, it seems as though maybe I can use that for some bushes and ground level. Of course, you'd have to paint it, but I'm just thinking of doing that. It would help. I try to use materials that I have so I don't have to pay for them, because the money I save on making the layout, I can use to purchase maybe other engines or rolling stock and so on. But it's an ongoing project. It always is when you have a layout. Another thing I'm going to have to do, since I'm putting the top layout in sections, of course I'm going to have bridges to connect each section. Like, say, just from the end of the tunnel to the end of the brickwork, I'm going to have to build some type of a bridge or a trestle, and the same in that area right there. There was one other thing I like to do, and I saw this on a YouTube channel, Eric's Trains. He's very popular, and he really has a wonderful layout, and he really builds a lot of scenery. And he had a company build a trestle, and it really is a beautiful workmanship, and the way that he weathered it, and it looks really great. And I liked his idea, not to come straight across from one end to the other, but he had like a S-type shape. And I'm thinking of doing something similar to that. But of course, to save cost, I'm thinking of using the lumber that I had left over from my first layout, and incorporate it and design it so that it'll look like it's a metal trestle, and the painting and the weathering and so on. But of course, that's down the road. Just different ideas I'm thinking about and we'll see how it works out. But yeah, I guess that's about it that I can think of. Just wanted to give you an update of how my layout is working, and hope you're enjoying it. And I'm gonna end this video now, and you have a great day. Take care. See you.